Squid Games, eat your heart out. Look at that. Of course, you can make Jell-O Jigglers with Jell-O, but I prefer to make it with Knox gelatin or powdered gelatin and drink mix packets. I know it seems a little bit crazy, but you can get way more flavors, especially if you're trying to be sugar-free if you use drink packet flavors, because you're limited with flavors of sugar-free Jell-O, but you're really unlimited with drink packet flavors. Today, I'm making Bomb Pop flavored Jell-O Jigglers. We can make them alcoholic or not. So I'm typically the one in our friend group that if there's a party or gathering, I'm usually the one that brings the Jell-O shots. And I used to do them in those little plastic cups, spray some Pam in them, spend all this time like carefully filling each one, but I don't do that anymore. Now I make Jell-O Jigglers alcoholic for parties, or I just make them non-alcoholic to snack on because I like the flavor. They contain a little collagen, a little bit of protein. They're not super nutritious. I mean, they're flavored with artificial colors and flavors and sweeteners, but it's a super low calorie snack hack, and I've been doing it for a while. I almost always have some on hand. So let's make some. I'm gonna make Bomb Pop flavored ones. I mentioned this in my video yesterday. I'll link it below if you wanna see that, but recently I've been on a Bomb Pop flavor kick of just about everything they have Bomb Pop flavored, and I found this in the store, and I thought this would make awesome Jell-O Jigglers. So let's give it a try. I'll show you how I do it. For a typical batch, I will bloom 4 packets of Knox gelatin. For my vegetarian and vegan friends out there, you can also use Agar Agar. This is the telephone brand, and it is the best one. It sets up really clear and not cloudy. It essentially works exactly like typical animal-based gelatin. But this is Agar Agar. I usually use this when I make Japanese candy kwakatu, which will be another video another time. But if you're vegan or vegetarian, you can use this instead of gelatin. Gelatin is not vegetarian. First things first, we have to bloom our gelatin. So I'm opening up 4 packets of gelatin and putting it into a vessel. We just have to bloom this, so I'm going to be adding just a little bit of cold water to bloom it. I don't really measure. This is a half cup and it's not quite full, but I'm just going to use that just to get the gelatin started so that it starts turning into a gel. This usually only takes a couple of minutes to get it going. And this is about the consistency that is considered bloomed. You see that? Let's leave that right there for a little bit. So for the next step, we actually need to melt the gelatin. So it's been bloomed and now it just needs to melt. So we need to have 8 ounces of hot, nearly boiling water. The easiest thing for me to do is to make it with my Keurig. I'll heat up 8 ounces in a mug of just water. I won't put a coffee pot in, but it makes the water hot enough and it measures out exactly 8 ounces for me. So let's do that. Okay, there's our mug of hot water and there's our bloomed gelatin, and we're going to carefully pour and we're gonna mix this to dissolve the gelatin. So I'm just gonna mix, 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 mix. So now you see that there are no lumps. The gelatin is completely dissolved. And now is when you decide on what flavor and if you're going to make it alcoholic or not. So now's the fun part. We have our drink packet mix. These are our Bomb Pop flavors. There are 6 sticks in this pack, and I'm going to use 4 of them. Hopefully that will give it good flavor. So we're gonna do 4 of these packets. Depending on some of the other ones that I've played around with, sometimes I use all of the sticks in the pack, sometimes I use fewer, it just depends. But I'm going to use 4, and I'm going to add them to the gelatin mix. This is just the bloom gelatin. There's no extra water or alcohol or anything in here. At this point, this is just flavor and gelatin. And there's no color. I might have to add some food coloring to this. Interesting. I was totally expecting it to turn blue or red or something, but it's not. So we're dissolving. Everything's dissolved. Looks really good. No lumps, nothing like that. And now is when we decide if we're going with cold water, 8 ounces in there, or if we're going with vodka or another spirit. And we're gonna save this one for another day. So no vodka today. We're making these non-alcoholic. So I'm gonna measure out 1 cup of cold water. And my awesome pampered chef, I got this like a long time ago. All right, cold water added, and we give it a mix. And I can smell the aroma. It actually smells really good. It smells just like Bomb Pop. But I'm not exactly cool with this color, so I'm gonna go find some food coloring and drop some in. Stay right there. Lucky me, I found an entire pack of food coloring. This is liquid, this isn't gel, it's just liquid. And the first one I grabbed is blue, so we'll add a couple of drops of blue food coloring. So 1, 2, 3. And we'll mix that in. Oh, wow, look at that. See, mentally, it changes the flavor already. All right, now it's time to pour it into the vessel of your choosing to set it up. Here's an option for you. You can use just about any vessel you want, but I always like to go more shallow than anything. I find that these glass pie pans that I found at a thrift store years ago really work well. You can do like a shallow square pan as well. It really doesn't matter. You're going to slice them up anyway into little bite-sized pieces. So I don't mind having the round edges, but I find that a depth of about 1 inch is perfect for this size batch. So let's use one of the pie pans. Okay, in we go. We don't have to prepare it, don't have to grease it. It will release perfectly on its own. Good to the last drop. I like to cover a sheet pan with some aluminum foil just in case there's any drips as I'm transferring to the refrigerator. We'll put that on there and then we'll pop it in the fridge. Knock knock, anybody home? Woo! All right, here we go. We're gonna put it in and it should set up in just a couple of hours. It won't take too long at all. Look at that, smooth as glass. Hello? Anybody home? All right, it's been just about 2 hours and we are totally solid. It's ready to slice. Let's go. All right, let's bring it over to the workstation. And I brought out some cookie cutters. Normally I just slice it with a knife, but I thought we might bring back some Squid Games. Who remembers Squid Games? Let's try some cookie cutters. And that little box has cookie cutters too. We can play around with it a little bit. So these are the kind of tools I typically use to free the Jell-O from its vessel. Something with a relatively sharp edge. Do you see how sharp that edge is? This one has a pretty sharp edge. It also has kind of like a scooped edge. And then this one is just a really fine tip spatula. You might have this if during the pandemic times you made sourdough bread. You might already have one like this. I bet you do. Okay, so let's see if I can give you a point of view reference where I just kind of go around the perimeter. All we're trying to do is loosen this up. We didn't need to oil the pan or anything. This should just release fairly easily. Typically what I like to do is cut it while it's in the pan, but this time I think I'm going to turn it out and see if I can get it in one fell swoop, in one piece. See, it's starting to lift out. Oh, it's satisfying. Look at that. It's really releasing really nicely. And sometimes you get to the point where clean hands are just the right tool, but let's see if we can lift it out. Look at this, look at this. All right, we're gonna tip it. All right, minor casualty, but we can live with that. Not too bad. So for starters, I'll take this broken side and show you what I usually do. I usually just use this little blade. It's really just a spatula with a sharp edge, and I slice it off and I just cut it into chunks. Now this one's broken, but you get the idea. But the cool thing about it is that the texture is a Jell-O Jiggler, and it totally brings out the 90s kid in you. If you remember Jell-O Jigglers, this is them. And the cool thing is that they're room stable, so they won't even melt. So if you leave them out on a platter at a party, they won't melt. So put a couple of those on a plate. Look. Jigglers, you know you want one. These ones are just for snacks. So they can be as big as you want them to be. They're pretty. They look like, they almost look like koakutu when I make that Japanese crystal candy. That's kind of the shapes that I usually get anyway. But then they take 4 days to harden and crystallize. But here's what we've got going on so far. Well, it looks pretty good. All right, let's try to make some shapes. So for starters, I opened up my tin, and if you can see all the different shapes I have in here, we can play with those. And I also have my Squid Game shapes. I think we need to do some Squid Game shapes. Maybe we'll start with the triangle. Ah, look at that. Perfect shape. Ta-da! Circle, what the heck. There you go. Good enough to eat, right? And a star. Look at that. I love it. Need an umbrella. Here's the umbrella. Oh my gosh. It's perfect. Look at that. Squid Games, eat your heart out. Look at that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The 90s kid in me is living for this right now. But how do they taste? Do they taste like a bomb pop? Should we test it out side by side? Stay right there. All right, so I brought my taster in so we can compare the real thing. Here's our popsicles, our actual bomb pop sugar-free popsicles, okay, to the sugar-free bomb pop flavored jigglers. Whoa. So, do you want to help me compare?
Be happy to.
Open your popsicle.
All right.
ASMR packaging sounds.
Isn't as easy as the haiku.
Maybe you should try it like a haiku.
Maybe. Okay.
All right. Cheers. Let's try the bomb pop first.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Try. I guess we'll need to try each flavor
right,
to see. Okay. Mhm.
Right.
Very cherry.
Very cherry.
Very lemony, limey. Kind of like Sprite. And very blue raz.
Very blue.
Right? So familiar flavors from summer that we all know what a bomb pop is, right? Okay, so grab your favorite Jell-O Jiggler off the plate. All right. Aren't they cool texture? Cheers. These ones are non-alcoholic. These are just flavored, bomb pop flavor. All right, you ready?
Here we go.
All right.
Cheers.
Pretty comparable. Like back and forth. Would you say they're like
Similar.
cherry flavored, or do you think that they're kind of like a combo of all three?
Oh, it tastes like a combo. Because the cherry's a lot stronger on the bomb.
On the bomb pop, but like all
The individual flavors are a lot stronger, right? That tastes like a...
this tastes like a full bomb pop, like all three flavors combined. I think they nailed the flavor, and having this as like a little edible snacky snack that tastes like this is actually pretty cool. I think next time, you think like if we wanted to make them alcoholic, what flavor vodka would you put in them to enhance it? Would you do a lemon vodka? Would you do a cherry vodka? A blue raz
That
vodka?
would be too much.
Just plain vodka?
Plain.
Would that be too strong?
Or like one of those marshmallow or whipped cream or something. Like not a flavor, because the flavor's in the Jell-O.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with the flavor. It turned out really good. I have a feeling we're gonna plow through these snacks.
That's pretty good.
I'll have to make another batch.
Okay. Vodka next time. Maybe.
All right, I'm gonna go wash my hands and drink some water. Finish my bomb pop.
Finish the bomb pop.
Cheers. Hope you try it. Let me know if you do. Tag me if you try Jell-O Jigglers this way with gelatin and a flavor packet instead of Jell-O, because now your options have expanded exponentially and you can choose whatever flavor you want for the summertime. So good.
Delicious.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.